However much we might have tried to dream otherwise, it was probably inevitable that the launch of new games consoles as sophisticated and powerful as the PS5 and Xbox Series X would be accompanied by a few teething troubles. One that seems to be affecting some PS5 owners, though, is particularly concerning. Increasingly widespread reports are suggesting that people are unable to get their PS5 to play 4K with high dynamic range (HDR) onto their TVs. Instead, they either have to turn off HDR to get 4K, or they have stick with a 1080p resolution to still get HDR. Even when PS4 Pro or Xbox Series X consoles connected in exactly the same way reveal no such issues. When I first started looking into this issue after seeing reports about it, I was pretty sure it was probably down to user error rather than an actual problem with the PS5. And indeed, more often than not, PS5 users experiencing the issue were able to resolve it by either making sure they had the console connected to the correct wide bandwidth HDMI on their TVs, or manually switching on the HDMI enhanced deep color setting for the HDMI port the PS5 was connected to. It also became apparent pretty quickly that the majority of the issues were being experienced by people running the PS5 through an AV receiver or soundbar, rather than connecting it directly to their TVs. And here, too, the majority of the problems were solved once people realized that AVRs also typically need to have their 4K pass-through HDMI ports, assuming they even have one, manually set to wide bandwidth enhanced mode. Something that can be far from intuitive to achieve, depending on the particular AVR brand in question. It does seem, though, that there's a significant residual group of people for whom something the PS5 is doing with its 4K HDR as output is presenting a more intractable problem. The most common examples of unresolved 4K HDR playback issues I've received relate to soundbars, especially soundbars from 2019 and earlier. The issue with these can potentially be worked around by connecting the PS5 directly to your TV and then running the sound out of the TV to the soundbar via ARC technology, assuming your TV supports that. This solution is far from ideal, though, because the affected soundbars don't support EARC technology for lossless Dolby Atmos audio pass-through, and some especially older TVs don't support Dolby Atmos, which the PS5 can play from 4K Blu-rays pass-through over ARC at all. Soundbars typically offer no way of switching their HDMIs to an enhanced mode that might fix the problem, as it often does with AVRs and TVs. Below is a list of equipment that seems to be affected by the PS5 4K HDR issue. I will add other equipment to this list as more cases emerge. Feel free to contact me on the Twitter account at the end of this article if you find yourself impacted by the problem using equipment not yet featured on the list.